Well, for more on what to look for from the Mobile World Congress, let's bring in James Sung. He's the Chief Strategist at Zocus Strategic Marketing. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
So in your view, what have been the most exciting offerings from this event so far?
Well, everyone's always looking at all the different new mobile phones that are coming out, but 5G really is on show this year. Very few people know that how truly revolutionary 5G will be for us, because back in let's say 1999, we're at 2G. We're at 1G analog. We go to digital. We go to 3G. We go to 4G, and now 5G. 4G is about 100 megabytes per second. That's the fastest speed. Now with 5G, we're looking at 100 gigabytes per second. So that's astounding how fast things can be. Now, a lot of us have already routers at home that have two different connections. Maybe we don't know why. One is for the 5G speed already that's waiting for us. Now we just have to embrace it. Huawei is really leading the charge. Every year at Mobile World Congress, these guys have really an army there. And this year, unfortunately, I just got married, so I couldn't go to Mobile World Congress. But I'm watching from the sidelines here, and it's really amazing because Huawei has overtaken Ericsson in Sweden. They've taken Nokia over Nokia in Finland, and even these companies, they used to be phone makers, and now they're more into infrastructure. And Huawei is not only are they making phones, but they're taking over the infrastructure too. Right now at 5G, they're already at #1.
Now, James, I do want to get to smartphones. We know that obviously Samsung got most of the headlines with its S9 launch, but then you also have four of the biggest mobile phone players, Huawei, HTC, Motorola, and LG, choosing not to unveil their latest handsets at the Mobile World Congress. What are your thoughts on that strategy?
Well, they're learning a lot from Apple, because Apple, they never showcase anything at these big events. First of all, a lot of the news they get lost. And a lot of these shows are people coming to copy their products. So what they really want is they want to be able to control the distribution. And I think it's a smart move.
Now, obviously, there are several of these high-tech events during the year. You have CES, you have South by Southwest, lots of visibility. So where does the Mobile World Congress rank in terms of importance for some of these new versus established tech brands?
Well, CES is definitely #1. It's the most important show for electronics. In fact, CES Shanghai in June is something that nobody wants to miss. Mobile World Congress, every year when I go, it's a very serious show. I mean, they're very serious about, keeping the Congress moniker, because it's really meant to be a bridge between government and private entities. And everyone that goes is very serious. I mean, in fact, the admission price for a ticket is something like $850 to $1,000. So everyone that goes is very serious. I go and I get a lot of free stuff from all the trade booths every year, because they know everyone that goes in there is a very serious player. So they're giving out like very expensive gifts.
Now, as you mentioned, looking ahead to the Mobile World Congress in Shanghai in June, what are the expectations there?
Well, there's a lot of Chinese mobile phone players that are really starting to they're really ready for the world. There's a company called Smartisan. Their CEO, his name is Luo Yonghao, and they've come out with really incredibly designed phones, and they're really ready to show to the world, and they're ready to sort of knock Apple off its pedestal.
And just very quickly, as we saw that the number of mobile phones being sold has taken a dip, to what degree then do these big tech events translate into sales in the long run?
The tech events, their presence, the launches, it actually takes a while, because the whole sales cycle, I mean, these big events, they announce the news, but, the manufacturer's still rolling out, and it actually takes several months for the sales to be effective. But really, it's meant to be a place where all the distributors, all the carriers come and they make the sales meetings. Now, for Huawei in particular, these guys have had a hard time with U.S. regulators, unfairly, I would say, and they're really having trouble because their product is so good, but because they own the infrastructure, they're not being allowed into the carrier stores, into the T-Mobile stores, into the AT&T stores, even though other companies, other Chinese companies like TCL with BlackBerry,
Right.
who owns BlackBerry now, are allowed in there.
Well, thank you so much. Unfortunately, we'll have to leave it there. James Sung of Zocus Strategic Marketing.